The ending of Survival of the Thickest Season 3 isn't built around a shocking twist or dramatic cliffhanger. Instead, it brings Mavis's journey full circle by showing that the life she always wanted doesn't arrive in the way she originally imagined. Throughout the season, she learns that success, motherhood, and happiness don't have to follow a single path. By the finale, she's finally stopped measuring her worth against everyone else's expectations and started defining success for herself. One of the biggest emotional turning points comes when Mavis unexpectedly admits that she doesn't want to keep trying to get pregnant. At first, even Luca is caught off guard because they've spent so much of their relationship working toward having a baby. But the confession isn't about giving up on becoming a mother. It's about admitting that the process has become emotionally exhausting. Months of disappointment have turned something joyful into something painful. Instead of dreaming about a child, Mavis has started dreading another failed attempt. The important distinction is that she isn't rejecting motherhood. She's rejecting the idea that motherhood has to come through pregnancy. That realization becomes even clearer after she feels Khalil and Imani's baby kick for the first time. The moment reminds her that her dream has always been raising a child, not necessarily carrying one herself. Dr. Terry completely changes the way Mavis views motherhood. For most of the season, Mavis quietly believes that if she can't give birth naturally, she'll somehow be less of a mother. Like many people struggling with infertility, she's grieving not only the possibility of a child, but also the experience she imagined having. Dr. Terry shifts the conversation away from pregnancy entirely. Her point is simple. The goal isn't to experience 9 months of pregnancy. The goal is to build a healthy family. Whether that happens through adoption, surrogacy, fostering, or another path doesn't make the love any less real. It's one of the finale's strongest messages because it challenges the idea that motherhood has only one correct version. Instead, it argues that becoming a parent is defined by love and commitment, not biology. Does Mavis eventually have a child? Yes. The finale confirms that 3 years later, Mavis and Luca are raising a child together. Interestingly, the series never explains exactly how they became parents. That ambiguity feels intentional. After spending an entire season showing Mavis letting go of society's expectations, the show refuses to reduce her happy ending to one specific reproductive journey. Whether the child arrived through adoption, surrogacy, or another path doesn't actually matter. The point is that Mavis achieved the dream she almost believed she'd lost, and she did it without sacrificing her physical or emotional well-being. Khalil's storyline mirrors Mavis's in an unexpected way. While Mavis spends the season questioning whether she'll ever become a parent, Khalil suddenly finds himself becoming one much sooner than expected. At first, he feels completely overwhelmed, but by the finale, he's embracing fatherhood wholeheartedly. His visit to his own father is especially important because it shows him breaking a cycle that has defined much of his life. Rather than allowing past disappointments to shape the future, he actively chooses to become the kind of father he never had. That decision reflects one of the season's biggest themes. You aren't trapped by the family you come from. You can build a better one yourself. Mavis's speech at the Essence event isn't just about fashion. It's the conclusion of everything she's learned over 3 seasons. When she says she spent years looking for validation from other people, she's talking about far more than her career. Earlier in the series, she constantly questioned whether she was attractive enough, talented enough, successful enough, or worthy enough. She waited for other people to tell her she belonged. Now she no longer needs that permission. Instead, she trusts her own instincts. That confidence becomes the foundation for every success that follows, both professionally and personally. The final time jump quietly answers the biggest question hanging over the season. Did Mavis make the right choices? 3 years later, the answer is a resounding yes. Her fashion career has reached heights she once only dreamed about, culminating in the massive New York billboard displaying her work. More importantly, she is standing beside Luca and their child. She didn't have to choose between family and ambition. She found both. The time jump also reinforces another recurring message throughout the series. Meaningful change doesn't happen overnight. Careers take years to build. Relationships require constant work. Healing from disappointment is a gradual process. By skipping ahead several years, the show reminds us that some dreams simply need time. The finale isn't really about fashion, fertility, or even marriage. It's about rejecting the idea that happiness only comes in one specific package. Throughout the series, Mavis constantly feels pressured to fit into expectations created by other people. She worries about her body, her career, her relationships, and eventually her ability to become a mother. By the end, she stops chasing someone else's definition of success. Instead, she builds a life that reflects who she actually is. That's why the closing line carries so much weight. When Mavis says the world needs to catch up with people like her, she's rejecting the belief that she has to shrink herself to fit outdated standards. Whether it's beauty, fashion, body image, or motherhood, the series argues that diversity isn't something that needs to be accepted someday. It already deserves to be celebrated. In the end, Mavis doesn't become successful because she changes who she is. She becomes successful because she finally believes that who she already is has always been enough.